And we're live at 9, James Phillips on WGLX 101.5. Sorry with the late start here, but we've had a couple little technical difficulties. We're not going to be live on Facebook right now. Facebook is the issue, not WGLX. And I think that really what happened is that I started having a conversation with our guest, and we're carrying on so much that we forgot to get on the air, maybe. But today's guest is Kimmie Sherrell, who is better known, I guess, as KimmieKitten on TikTok and Facebook and all the social media platforms. So, Kimmie, thanks for coming in today.
No problem.
So, let's just get right into it and talk about TikTok. Why are you on TikTok? How long have you been on TikTok? And tell us what people know you for.
Oh my gosh. For all, I've been a goober, first of all. Yeah, I've always said I'm just a loudmouth goober. But I've been on TikTok for about 6 months now, and it's just taken off. Like, I can't even believe it myself, honestly. But I started about 6 months ago, and I've actually been on TikTok for a long time, and I just stayed incognito, to be honest.
Right.
And I love it so much. I have so much fun with it. But then one day I said, I'm just going to start posting myself. Why not? And I made some little videos here and there. I lovingly call those videos my true crime white trash neighborhood.
Yeah.
where I kind of talk about the little true crime things that happen within like a 20-mile radius of my neighborhood, just the wild things that have happened. And then the Super Bowl happened. Okay,
right.
Where Kendrick Lamar did his song that was so controversial.
Yeah, see, and I didn't know any. That's how old I am. I didn't know anything about it.
No, you're not old.
My kids were trying to tell me about it. I didn't understand it, but I've gone back and watched some of your videos, and now I think I understand it. Like, I think you have helped me to realize what this deal was with Kendrick and Drake. Now I know everything about it.
See, and whose side are you on now?
Ooh,
this is going to define something.
Should I? I'm not going to say. I mean, that's worse than Alabama and Auburn. I think I got to be on Kendrick's side, though.
You have to be, or we can't be friends.
Yeah, no, Drake's. I'm not going to say what he is, but
yeah, don't say it here.
He's very similar to our friend Puff Diddy.
Absolutely.
And also the Kanye, or is he just Ye now?
I think he just changed his name again.
That's what I think. He's Ye is what he's going, because he came to support the Puff Diddy.
Bless him.
Yeah.
He's been
so all these top people hang out together.
All these top people, yes. So we are absolutely on Kendrick's side, always and forever.
Right.
Always, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right, okay. So I did a video about that, and that went viral. To the point where I didn't expect it to, trust me. I didn't think I was that interesting on it. Certainly more people knew things about it than I did.
Right.
I'm just little old me.
And people were like, what is this? What's this little white lady from?
Exactly, that's exactly what they said.
The middle of country Alabama. What does she even care?
And I knew very little. That was just a shallow dive into it. Yeah. But I was surprised. I was just having a gossip session with my son, who was not shown the video at all, because I don't believe in that. I think crazy people would do that. But I was just having a gossip session, like, oh my gosh, can you believe I found that out? And so other people just ate it up. You know, this little country bumpkin girl. And that just went crazy. I looked down at my phone the next day, and it was just like, ba-ding, 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 and it was going crazy. And from there, people wanted more, so they were like, listen to this song with Kendrick's, listen to this song, listen to this song. And I'm like, well, okay. And some of the songs were just crazy. Crazy. And so
but they're making like millions of dollars just like
beefing with each other.
Tearing into each other.
Yes. Yeah. And I was here for it. I'm here for some tea.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I started listening to it, and it was hilarious how they were just going back and forth at each other.
Yeah.
I ate it up. I'm here for some tea, right? So then all this stuff with Walker County really took off, and that's more my cup of tea.
Well, that's where I first heard. I saw one of your videos that was about our sheriff's office, and so I told my wife, I said, you got to listen to this, because she loves TikTok. And I said, you got to check this out. I saw it on my Facebook. And, I mean, we were both laughing just hysterically at things. And it's the way that, it's the way you talk, the little nicknames you throw out there for different people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, I don't know who Slick Nick is, but I hear you talk about him a lot. So, you know, I don't know.
You don't know?
And there's some guy named Ralph Wiggum. I'm a huge Simpsons fan, and that's all I know. But, you know,
sir,
I've kind of deduced.
I would never.
Have to do
Not me. Not I.
Right.
I'm trying to get to heaven, sir.
Right. But those videos have made you quite popular in our area for sure.
Yes.
What's your take on this? Like, you're a big true crime person, though.
I am, yes, and that.
We even got Terrell's cracking up in the background. Terrell Manasco's in here producing. You might can hear him laughing in the background because he's trying to hold it together.
Well, okay, yes, I'm a huge.
And I don't want to do this ain't gonna be like a bash
right?
party.
No, absolutely not.
Because this is more about you and what you do. Like, it's not a
yes, absolutely.
But we
not.
can have a little fun with it. So
absolutely.
You just go ahead and tell me your thoughts.
I've always been very interested in true crime cases, and I have such a heart for Walker County. I think people here are really exhausted with how much they've had to endure for years. In the missing person cases.
And this goes like long before.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Generations.
Right.
Of course, we've all heard about the Carrie Lawson case.
Right.
That's infamous at this point. I've heard about that since I was a kid.
We can't talk about that. People will be coming after us.
Absolutely. So, but there's so many things that they want to talk about and they don't feel like they can. They feel like they're voiceless.
Right.
So I'm super interested in that. I always have been. But then all these articles have been coming out lately, and so they feel like they're powerless to do anything about it. So, but if I can bring some levity to it and take these articles and take these things that are coming out and make them feel a little bit better and a little bit lighter about it, then I feel like I've done something. And so whenever I come here and I go to Walmart and they holler at me across
right.
the parking lot and they're like, "Kimmie, it's you," I feel so much like I'm doing something
right.
for them, And so if I give them a little nickname here and there,
Nickname, no pun intended.
That's what I said. That's what I told my husband this morning. A little nickety name, a little nickety slickety name, I'm sure he won't cry on his pillow, and neither will I, If I'm the biggest fish he's got to fry, I'm sure he won't starve.
Right. That's probably true. Yeah. And what I liked about you, and you bringing up how much you do care about Walker County.
I do.
And I think that's obvious from the videos. It's not just that you're using a bad situation in Walker County to make a name for yourself.
No.
And you even say, "Hey, I go shop at Walmart in Jasper." And I think that's huge for people to see, because it's difficult to be a person who is kind of out there in public
yes.
and have a public personality, and you still go out and, you're not worried about any of that kind of stuff.
No, I've had plenty of people say, "Aren't you scared?" I ain't never been scared of no man.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
Not every day in my life, never.
Yeah.
But I think it's notable as of late, especially since comments have been made. I go to Hobby Lobby and I go to TJ Maxx, and I love it here. Thank you.
There you go.
I love it here.
Well, we appreciate the tax dollars in Walker County and Jasper.
And I buy those Christmas ornaments.
Right.
And I buy those purses. Thank you very much.
At 50% off.
Absolutely.
Good job out of you.
Mm-hmm.
But what's been the biggest slack that you've caught, and maybe something that surprised you that you didn't really think would,
Oh gosh, people thinking that I don't do my own research, for
right.
one thing. People thinking that that I'm trying to take credit for Secrets True Crime and Case File. Thinking that I'm not actually consulting with them, thinking that I want to just get views.
Right.
And that's not at all what I'm just doing what's interesting to me.
Well, and I mean, I know a little bit about social media, and even though you have a lot of followers, you haven't reached the level of followers where you're making money off this thing. Like, you might make $1 or $2, but you're not making,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think that I make a bazillion dollars.
Right.
And no, TikTok doesn't work like that, y'all.
No,
it does not.
No,
no, nobody does.
So
it's
I mean,
very
if you get
difficult.
millions of views on YouTube, you might could could make some money, but other
Yeah.
than that,
Yeah.
this isn't paying your bills.
No, not by any means.
Yeah.
No, it does not. Yeah, not.
You're more of a public servant.
Oh gosh, that's so nice to say.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you are a teacher.
I am. I'm an educator. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Anybody, any flack with that, like from, and I guess nobody's going to care though if you're in a different area teaching, but have you caught any flack for being a teacher? And it's only been really 6 months that you've been doing this, but.
Not really, because I keep that side totally separate
Right.
from this. I did have one person when I did make a video about a law that passed in Coleman County. One person said, "I sure am glad you don't teach my kids." And first of all, I think she was in her 70s. And I was like, "You don't have any kids."
Right, yeah. Or if they're still in school, there's a bigger problem than you.
Yes, and I was very kind. I said, "Well, I'm glad I don't teach your kids either if you don't think I'm the best." And I don't know what the problem was with that, because
Right.
I truly don't.
Yeah.
But because it had absolutely nothing to do with me teaching at all. So I'm very careful. I don't make any videos on the clock. I don't make any videos describing what I teach or bring up anything. My coworkers love it. They absolutely love my videos. They crack up all the time. So it really doesn't bleed into anything at all. So I haven't caught any flack for it at all.
Well, that's good. You know.
Yeah.
Did you think when you first put out, and really, I mean, we'll go just straight to the like Nick Smith videos. Did you think, hey, this is going to take off? Like, are you shocked by the amount of people that have caught on to this?
In a way, yes, but in a bigger sense, no.
Right.
No, because it's so much
You almost
fun.
looked diabolical when you said that. It's like, yes. Like Dr.
So
Evil.
much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun, y'all. Because, can I just be honest, he makes it so easy.
Right.
Like, he's just so sure of himself all the time.
Right.
Okay? He's just so sure of himself. And it really just, yeah, he's just so sure of himself, y'all.
So you don't mind serving a little humble pie? Is basically
Never.
what you're saying.
Yeah. I was raised by a good man. I'm married to another.
And that's one thing that I did want to bring up to you while we were talking, is that I do love when you talk about the men that have been in your life. That means a lot to guys who are out there trying hard, you know.
Absolutely.
And I know your husband's trying hard, and your dad must have done a pretty good job.
He's a wonderful man.
And I think it means a lot for you to publicly tell people that. I think that's a really cool thing.
Absolutely. And I love good deputies and good police officers, and I think they deserve all the credit in the world. And I just cannot stand for any of if there's good deputies on the Walker County Sheriff's Office that are trying to do the right thing, and if they're under poor leadership, the Walker County citizens deserve good leadership.
Right.
And I really hope next year they get it.
Yeah. Well,
I really do.
And not just with law enforcement, but with anything, just people who, and I'm not, let me just go ahead and say, I'm not casting judgment or saying anybody is doing this, but anybody who manipulates others, you know.
Absolutely.
Using whatever power they might have or perceive to have, that's a terrible thing. And we've seen a lot of that in Walker County over the years.
Absolutely.
Years and years and years. And some of it's just now kind of getting the light shined on it because of the things that people like you do and Secret's True Crime. And it's been things that I think even local media has tried to do in the past and not been able to do as good a job, and I'm a part of that. So I appreciate you guys being able to come in and have a different perspective and a different kind of set of eyes to look at these things and to speak from a place of unbiased, you know. I think it's a good thing for Walker County.
I appreciate that, and it's not just him.
No.
It's not just him, to be fair. But
well, you've had a lot of material from Walker County just in the last 6 months. I mean, it's definitely not just the Walker County Sheriff's Office. There has been plenty of other things to talk about.
Absolutely.
Some of them so nasty we can't even talk about them on air.
No, we cannot. No, because we love the Lord, don't we?
Right.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm trying to get there. Okay. Yeah. So but to be fair, and I'm only interested in talking about what's happening professionally. But like I said, I love Walker County, and I just want what's best and what's better for the people here. So.
Just to remind everybody, we're talking to Kimmie Sherrell today on Live at 9. She's also known, if you check her out on TikTok, as KimmieKitten. And her TikTok page has really taken off lately. I think when I first heard one of your videos, you had maybe like 3,000 followers or something. And like, what are you up to now?
13.8 thousand people.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Yeah, and that's wild. That's wild. I watch it and I'm just appalled and humbled and amazed.
Yeah.
It's wild. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful. I can't believe it. Every single day, I can't believe it. Other people say, especially people in my family, they're like, well, we can believe it. She's been talking like this her whole life. but yeah, I can't believe it.
Well, and tell us just a little more. Usually I'll take a break right now, but since we were late starting, I'm just not going to take a break today. So I think we got plenty we can talk about. But tell us a little bit about just kind of your history and how you even, like, have you done other social media stuff before the TikTok thing, or like where did this all? Most people don't just get on TikTok and start talking and people start listening to them. Right?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Is
yeah.
that where it came from?
That was the first thing I ever even tried. Really, the only other thing I ever did was I did YouTube videos back in the day, but that was mainly for educational purposes.
Well, you said in your bio that you sent to me that you have been inspiring people for years. So
yeah.
Was that just playing yourself up?
No. Through education purposes mainly.
Right. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I know. No, give me a hard time. Yeah. Mainly just yakking my brains off to anybody that'll listen. But my husband calls me just a born and bred storyteller, and he's not the only one. Listen, he's a golden retriever. I'm lucky to have such a great husband. He talks me up all the time. But if it were the only person that told me that, I would think like he's just a husband. He does that.
Right.
But other people do tell me that all the time, and it's amazing to be surrounded by great people. But I've been on YouTube before for educational reasons, but especially through COVID. I taught little bitty kids back then, so we had to record all of our lessons. And it's funny to go back and look at that now and think, my goodness, I was reading books to kids out in my backyard and in a classroom and everything else, and teaching science lessons and everything. And actually, by way of getting into the public sector, that's how that happened. I had a principal that was watching those lessons. So that was a great way of, I did an interview and didn't even know it.
Right.
So that was fantastic. But people have always been listening to me from one way or another, whether I forced them to or not.
Well, I was going to say, is it just because you're going to talk no matter what?
I'm going to talk no matter what, whoever's listening to me. My husband says, well, you just hold up people in Walmart. And I'm like, well, it is what it is, ain't it?
But you probably made their day, though.
That's what he says. He said, you just tickled the fire out of them. I'm like, well, it is what it is, isn't it?
Now, I got to tell you, though, I'm a little disappointed. Because I thought that you would show up in a Snuggie.
I almost did. I got one in the car.
And you didn't bring any snacks or drinks with you.
I don't have time to eat snacks. I almost brought my jar of pickles, but I thought I'm going to talk his ear off.
Right.
Like either he's going to love me or hate me. I told him that. I said, he'll either love me or hate me. People have a strong reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what's your, because I'm telling you, the thing that caught me, the nicknames got me. And I mean, I laughed. The first time I heard Ralph Wiggum, I'm telling you, I almost went into just a panic attack because I was laughing so hard.
But you know that some people don't know who Ralph Wiggum is?
Well, see, I don't understand that. I don't understand anybody who hasn't watched The Simpsons.
Right.
And then you in the Snuggie. Like, I was like, that's why I told my wife, I said, you've got to look at this lady. She's in the Snuggie, she's talking about eating snacks, and she's bad-mouthing our sheriff.
I'm
like,
cold even now. My fingertips are just white. It's so cold in here.
What's your favorite snickety snack though. Like.
Oh my gosh, hands down, the Vlasic zesty bread and butter pickles. They're only sold in the Coleman, and this is so funny. This is just the Colemanites calling this that.
You call them Colemanites too?
The Colemanites.
I do too. My wife has family, and for years I've called them the Colemanites, and she thought and I guess I did just come up with it in my brain, but I mean, it makes sense.
There's 2 Walmarts over there, and they call it the ghetto Walmart. I don't see how there could be anything ghetto about it. I don't understand, but it's the one on Olive Street, and I'm like, there's nothing ghetto about it.
Well, see, the ghetto Walmart in Walker County is the Summerton Walmart. That'd be the ghetto Walmart. No, I'm from East Walker, so
it's hilarious. I'm like, there's absolutely nothing ghetto about it, but that's the one Walmart anywhere that carries the good pickles. If anybody goes and buys all them pickles, I'm not telling anybody anything else, okay? Yeah. Because if I go there and they're all gone, I'm going to know that somebody went and bought all those pickles. But they're so good. People have been saying to me, the Wickles pickles, have you tried that? And I'm like, no, they're nowhere near as good. Yeah. Those are the best pickles on the face of the planet. I could eat a whole jar of them.
Are they sweet or are they spicy?
Both.
See, I don't like sweet pickles.
We can't be friends.
But I love dill pickles.
I'm breaking up with you.
Well, I mean, I thought we could really hit it off.
It was bound to end. It was bound to end.
And I hate cucumbers.
I'm leaving.
But I love pickles.
I'm leaving right now. I have a garden full of I call them pickles, but of course the cucumbers.
Right.
But just for that reason, like I try to pickle them, they turn out terrible, but I still eat them anyway. I love those pickles so much.
My son, he's 22 now, been 23 coming up, and when he was a kid, Vlasic was the type that we always got.
Yes.
And for some reason, because of the stork, he called them chicken pickles.
Okay.
And so
chicken pickles, yeah. That's adorable.
So we would be in Walmart and he'd be saying, "Dad, get some chicken pickles. I want some chicken." And he had a little speech impediment back then.
That's adorable.
And so it was the cutest thing in the world. So we still call them chicken pickles.
Can you tell I'm serious about snacks?
Yeah.
Snackless.
Hey, well, my favorite and
I'm serious.
Little Debbie cakes is what turned me into a diabetic. I told my wife, I said, "I'll only ever have an affair on you with Little Debbie."
They'll get you.
Yeah, but I mean, it is. I love some Little Debbie cakes.
What's the best ones?
Well, for me
personally, I might get back together with you after this.
Well, any of the chocolate ones are good.
I'm breaking up with you. I'm leaving.
But I love, my favorite that I'll eat all the time is strawberry shortcakes.
Oh, we're done.
You don't like those?
No, sir.
What's your favorite?
No. The Christmas trees.
Oh, well, yeah, but I don't count the holidays. I mean, they put them out for holidays constantly.
No.
But I do love the Christmas trees.
Okay, I was about to say.
But you can't buy them all year.
I don't care. You buy like 16 boxes. You order them.
Did you try the massive Christmas trees last year?
That's the best kind.
Those are good.
Yes,
yeah.
Of course, because those itty bitty ones just frustrate you.
Yeah, well, you're going to open about 4 of them.
Exactly. Exactly. And the people that are making the little, what is those little sucker things? Like they mash them up and put them on a stick.
Oh, yeah, like the cake pop thing?
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They
need to be at least,
straight
all you
to
got
jail.
to do is put the tree on a stick and have a tree.
If you wanted to.
If you want to do that.
Those people need to go to jail.
Yeah.
That mash those things up.
You shouldn't mash them up.
Never. I told you I'm serious about this topic.
Well, I am too. Like, I'm glad we got on this because and people listening, they may not care, but there are some snackers out there.
They better not. They better care.
In Walker County, there are some snackers. We've got such a high rate of obesity and diabetes that I know there's out there.
That's ugly to say.
Well, I mean, it's true. I'm obese and also diabetic.
We're curvy.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Fluffy. And
we're curvy, sir.
And I love convenience store food. Like those big pickles in pouches.
I love that this is a topic.
Yeah, I know. It won't get either of us killed if we talk about snacks.
Right, run into the woods, sir.
But, I'm from Empire, and I've ran in the woods, and I've ran out of the woods.
Do you have your rucksack ready?
I do, and I call myself, now this is me having a big
important here.
I call myself Empire's favorite son, which could be true, could not be true. I don't know. But, I mean, you have to, you know. Do you know anybody else from Empire that has survived as long as I have?
You're the only person. You're it.
Yeah. Now, I've only got one leg and I've died 38 times, but I have survived so far.
I really think it's a sexy creature out there that's getting everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
The Wampus cat.
Well, and I made up, I did not make it up. I wrote a story one time.
No, nothing's made up.
I wrote a story years ago about the I'm from Stacks Bottom, the Stacks Bottom area of Empire.
Stacks Bottom?
Yes.
You're making that
Which
up.
is near Phillips Town.
Okay.
Which you've probably heard from if you've done your research on a lot of these missing people. But I came up with or I did not come up with it. I met one time the Stacks Bottom skunk ape.
Oh my God.
And he is a cousin to the Sipsy Creature.
A cousin?
Yeah.
Twice removed?
Kissing cousin.
Oh God.
So.
Not in Alabama.
Yeah.
Kissing cousin. So now the Sipsy Creature's got a kissing cousin?
Right, yeah.
Oh God. Oh my gosh. Do you know I brought up the Wampus cat to my in-laws the other day, and I thought, they're not going to believe this. And my mother-in-law said, oh yeah, we heard of the Wampus cat out in Jones Chapel. A bunch of kids came to school with scratched up arms. And I about lost it. I went out to orbit over that one. That was the funniest thing. And my father-in-law says, yeah, you want to see a picture of it? And Googled it. He Googled it in his phone. And I about lost it. It was so funny. And he said, yeah, it's a six-legged cat. And I showed my son. And he said, that's why it walks all wampus like that.
That's the wampus walk.
He said, maybe that's where cattywampus comes from. And we laughed and we cried.
That is right, cattywampus.
Cattywampus.
Yes.
I didn't think about that either. I thought that's pretty intelligent for a 15-year-old. That's so funny. Cattywampus. That was so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Now, where do the nicknames come from? Like, does it just come out? Do you sit around and think on them, or is it just?
No, are you kidding me?
I
I've got
know,
two brain cells, and sometimes they bump together and make a spark. Are you kidding?
That's what I figured.
Are you kidding me? No, not at all. No, my son came up with one the other day. It was his boss baby for him. I mean, I must have passed down that gene.
Yeah.
I'm not a good one to pass down.
Boss baby. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh my gosh.
Because, I mean, I laugh at, I really do. And maybe it's mean of me, but I do
We're just
laugh.
good at it around here.
And I like the baby gap makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Slicky, you know.
Slickety nickety.
Slickety nickety.
Yes.
It's all funny. And
Yes, it's all fun and games.
And
I wish him the best, truly. I do, you know. I hope everything works out good.
well, and in all seriousness, I think it's good that you don't, like, whether you make fun of somebody, it's kind of satire like Saturday Night Live.
Absolutely, yeah.
But,
like, what is it, the ostrich around here?
Right,
Yeah.
But you don't go personal. Like, you don't.
Absolutely not.
You don't do personal attacks. You don't talk about personal life. It's
No.
all, within the realm of this is what this person does in their job or
Professional realm, yes.
And so, I mean, I think that is admirable there because people could just go crazy.
Oh, and they do. My
Yeah.
goodness, yes. And they asked me to, and I'm like, absolutely not.
Right.
No, we're not going after families. He still has kids and things like that, and that's really terrible. No,
Right.
we don't do that.
Yeah.
That's a low blow.
You got to have a little grace there.
Absolutely, of course. We keep it cutesy over here. Very
Right.
cutesy, very demure.
Right.
Yes, yeah, we don't do that. No.
Anything else that you got planned for? Like, I mean, I don't know. In watching your videos, it's a lot like my life. You just don't plan it; it just goes on. Is there anything coming up? I know you did talk about that you are looking to do something on the Sipsy Creature.
Oh, I love talking about cryptids. That's a fun thing. Every Friday night we do date night with Dateline on the live.
Oh, cool.
And that's always fun because we don't just talk about Dateline. The ones that come and sit on that, it's hilarious. It's between me and my husband, and we go back and forth, and that's always a good time. Lord, I love me some Keith Morrison.
I like Keith Morrison too. He's a cool dude.
Oh, he's a silver fox.
He was on an episode of Seinfeld.
Oh my gosh, I just love Keith Morrison.
But my favorite is Josh Mankiewicz.
See, I don't care for him too much.
I like his
voice. I'm
voice.
so sorry to him.
I like his voice, and I like just the way he gets. He'll get into. It's almost like Mankiewicz is drunk sometimes when he's telling a story.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, reportedly drunk.
Reportedly, allegedly, yeah, yes. But yeah, I like Andrea Canning too. I like her and Keith Morrison because when somebody says truly something crazy, like they call them out on it in a snarky, witty kind of way.
Yeah.
And I truly enjoy that.
Yeah.
Truly. And they don't let the moment pass.
Right.
Which is so much fun. But
My wife and I joke around. We've been married 30 years, or about 30 years, 26 actually, together 30. But we joke around that one day we will be an episode of Dateline.
Oh, I'm sure I will be too.
That's what we're hoping for.
Oh yeah, I'm sure this is where this is going to lead for me. Oh, absolutely. Somebody actually messaged me one day and said, you probably should get your own Dateline binder together that says, if I ran off into the woods, no, I didn't.
Right,
okay,
yeah.
I did not.
Right.
Nothing like that happened to me, so y'all just please come look for me. You know, do me a favor. That didn't happen to Kimmie.
Well, and I have a feeling with you, though, that they're not going to sit somebody down, and anybody who's a true friend of yours is going to say, I'm shocked by this. Like, you know, nobody's going to say, I'm shocked that this happened to Kimmie. They're just going to say, we all expected something
We all
crazy.
expected it, yeah. I know it, yeah, we all expected it. She's got such a loud mouth. Like, ever since kindergarten, even my teacher said it, so I mean, why not? But yeah, so we do that every single Friday night, and it's so much fun. And then my true heart in this is I love talking about missing persons cases because I feel like that's the truly important thing. I like adding little funny things here and there, and of course lickety-nickety and all that kind of stuff. That's funny. But
because nothing's funnier than a missing person.
Right? I mean, right. Yeah, no. But
that's a joke.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
Ha ha.
Yeah.
You know, hee hee. But I want to talk about Maxine Beaverbach. I want to talk about Jordan Wilson.
Yeah.
I actually meant to talk about Jordan Wilson a long time ago, but of course the rat beef stuff, you know, it swamped there
Right.
for a while. But I want to talk about Jordan Wilson. So of course there's and also there's a man from Coleman County, Donnie Williams, that I want to talk about. That's an actually very interesting case that people are alive now that know about that, and he went missing a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that's another interesting thing I want to talk about, and that's really the heart of everything. So all the funny stuff's funny, but missing persons is where my heart is.
Well, and it is, I mean,
that's what's important.
the way that you talk about it, you put some funny stuff in there, but I mean, we've had so many missing people in Walker County over the last, I mean, you could say 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they just go missing, and I mean, law enforcement have tried.
Sure, yeah.
But they're missing and nobody knows what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a very strange, that doesn't happen in other places. Like,
Right.
not in the amount that it does here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, so I mean, it's really serious, but I think that it's cool that you bring those to light and bring those names up where people can think about it again. Because you never know when a fresh set of eyes or just thoughts on something may jar somebody's memory to say, oh yeah, I might have saw that person somewhere. Something.
You never know what may happen, and at the end of the day, just humanizing that person and not just reading off a piece of paper. Have you seen the person with brown eyes or brown hair, and that be it, and or even just to the family, just knowing that you said that person's name again.
Yeah, well, when I was at the newspaper, we would have a lot of families that each year, when it was either the person's birthday or the day that they went missing, you know, they would come to us and want us to run a story just to say, here's who this person was, here's the last they were heard from, and so we were always happy to do that.
Right, and it makes them feel empowered again.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not being forgotten. About that story's not being forgotten, and our loved ones not being forgotten. I think that's very important to do.
And it lets them know somebody cares.
Yes, and I care.
Right.
I care very much. I can't imagine if that was my brother or sister or mom or dad, something like that. So yeah, that's what's important to me. So all the rest of it, yeah, I'm gonna put my little Kimmie flair on it. But yeah, so that's what's important to me.
Well, anything else you want to share before we go? We're getting close to the top of the hour, and I have to turn it over to our good friend Woody Wilson.
I could talk to you for 3 more hours.
I know you'll have to come back.
I would love to come back.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah, you will definitely have to come back.
You just say the day.
I hope you've had fun. I hope that it was as fun as you thought it might be to come on the radio and talk to this lizard. But
no, don't talk about my friend that way. No, it was so much fun.
But I had a good time, and we definitely will have you back because I think it was a lot of fun, and I'm sure the listeners loved it. Guys, thanks for listening to Live at 9 with James Phillips here on WJLX. Coming up, we do have Woody Wilson. He'll be here starting in just a couple minutes, and he'll bring his class. The professor of rock and roll will be here to talk about all things rock and roll and tell you about some local stuff. I know he's got a guest today. He'll have Tiffany Higgins from Bevel State coming on at noon. She's going to be talking about some fundraisers that Bevel State has coming up for their athletic program, as well as some youth camps that they'll be doing throughout the summer for kids in the area. So be sure to tune in for that at noon. And until Thursday, I'm James Phillips. We'll see you on Thursday morning at Live at 9.